Hello all. Apologies, I didn't realize I had viewers. Um, Hold on. Sorry, Druss here again. Hello, how's it going? And apologies again. I didn't realize there was anyone actually viewing me. So again, that's just me being a newbie to Twitch and streaming in general. Not sure who is here, but if you can let me know, I'd appreciate it greatly so I can know who I'm talking to. I have going to today. The intention is yesterday I suppose, but we in general, because I did have some input from people, decorated the sitting room in this building here, which is a townhouse and is on the main town square. So it's Bricks, hello. Pyro, hello. How's it going? Welcome aboard. So Pyro, just Bricks is a friend of mine from Darwin. Pyro is a friend of mine. Bricks from another server, from Geeky's Discord. He is a Sir Geeky Gamer, is a YouTuber. Pyro himself is a YouTuber himself. Pyro, I'll give you a quick quiz around the town that we're building. This is a project by myself and a friend of mine, Scout. It started out as just me playing around with blocks and kind of ended up as a project. So this is it. It's going to be a town in a world called Druss, and is going to eventually be kind of a fantasy trope with lots of different types of, elf cities and orc cities and all sorts of things like that, wizards towers. So this is the town so far. About half the buildings have been built by myself and about half by Scout. A lot of it is taken, I've used real life buildings. Well, in about a quarter of it I've used real life inspiration. So this building here is something from real life. Oh, very good. You found a geeky. You did indeed, Pyro. And this is so just a couple of little side streets here, really, for people to peddle their wares on. So, for example, this is a tailor's, and you have different kind of cloths and that sort of thing. And then the main part of it that I'm doing currently is my focus is on this square. No, that's fine, Bricks. Thanks very much for joining me anyway. I really do appreciate it. I'm not sure who the third person is, but it did say, I think, that there were 3 followers. So anyway, Pyro, yeah, this is the main square that I've been working on. Excuse me. And every building I've done so far is fully furnished. You might recognize this name here, Pyro. And as you can see, so all the buildings are fully furnished, and that's just the way I do things. I tend to do a building and then complete the interiors. So today the interiors are going to be this one here. So this is a sitting room. Excuse me, I'm just going to disconnect my mic for a second till I cough. Apologies, if you can still hear me, let me know. Yeah, very much so, Australian XV. So I think I'm going to work on this small dining room here today, and possibly, if we have time, move into the kitchen. So here we go. So I know what that's going to be now. I don't need that anymore. Pyro, for if you're not aware, Conquest has a wonderful feature. So this, for example, is a typical just a wood block. But if I hit C, I have all the different block types, and I can just pick whatever I want and put it in my menu and then build that. It's an incredible tool, and I wish Vanilla had it. So to begin with, let's just put some supports on the ceiling. So we'll just do beam blocks. And this, Pyro, is just some supports for the ceiling. If I wasn't Vanilla, I would be using maybe a slab like that or something to go across. But as it is, oh yes, of course, Pyro, I forgot that you had been on Darwin. Oh, and thank you very much for letting me know that. That's actually, I will have to figure out how to go on to mute, because the last thing you guys want to hear me is coughing and that sort of thing. Okay, so beams are nicely done, and to find a center point in the room, it will be around here. And again, it's not central, so I'm not entirely sure I'm going to do it. but it doesn't look too bad in this case. Visually, you're coming in the door here and in the door here. Okay, so it's not quite central, but we could, and it is going to be a dining room, so it will need some sort of lighting from above. So I think these lights here should work quite well. Let me get a debug stick and turn them on. And that should do there. Though I don't like the capital block, I'll change that out for something a little more expensive looking, maybe a gold chain. Okay, now so as you can see, this is a very small dining room. We don't have very much room at all, so what we shall do is just make a small square table perhaps, and that will be the best thing to do, I think. So the choices are, we can either use a desk on both sides and have it like that, or no, you know, we can actually make a bigger table. What we shall do is use the oak table, I think, and now it can be 6 wide, because if we go up against the side it can be 6 wide. Now we're just going to change this so that it's facing north. Perfect. So now we need that to be facing north. So now we have a leg there. With Conquest Reforged, because it does connected textures, if it realizes it's connected to another block here, it will continue. So we're just using the debug stick to essentially give that there we go, the leg it needs. Astrea, my dear, hello, how are you doing? Welcome back, and we are just today we're just decorating further. I'm going to move this across one, I think. No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it there. Just decorating the dining room and hoping for the best. We'll see how we go. Now I have a choice here, and it's to use either typical Conquest chairs, which look like so, and I'm only going to do 4, so there will be a gap in between. So there and there, for example. But I think I shall use Victory Mod chairs, so because they have multiple block states that you can put in. So let me see. The rich jungle chair. I think there's a rich oak chair here somewhere, though I'm possibly wrong. Rich oak chair. So we can use that there, that on the table, that there. I'm not altogether fond of the pure white of the oak chair. Perhaps something a little bit more subtle. The birch chair looks good. Yeah, that's better, because the white is just a little bit too bright for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to, for the sake of yes, it's a gorgeous green room, isn't it, Astra? Hope you're not too tired though. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, for the sake of Pyro, who is a vanilla player, we're going to change this block state to move it in. So no, not down, not there. There we go. So now it's facing inwards, and it'll give the impression that it's being pushed in underneath the table. There we go. And then this one we're going to just change slightly so that it looks, yeah, that looks okay. That looks like it's been pulled out for whatever reason, and we can have a meal there now. Go to our food and perhaps have some cheese or bread. Not entirely sure which yet. Could I borrow those which magical stairs, Pyro? I'm not entirely sure which ones you're talking. So anyway, so let me see. No, that's a little thick, I think. Well, you could use that there. And we can have the cut cheese. No, we're not even going to have cut cheese. We shall have the cut cheese there. Now if I could turn that facing... No, I can't. It will do. Those stairs you can push inwards and rotate. Oh, I know. we have all sorts of wonderful things on CR. I'll just give you a quick example. So as you can see here, we have the menu bar is far better than vanilla, I think, because everything is separated nicely. So we have cobble and brick, and then we have advanced masonry, so all sorts of different types of masonry there, and then column blocks, and then mosaic blocks, and then we've even got our plaster, and that would be your kind of terracotta within vanilla, and then half timbered walls, so these are your Tudor blocks. And then we even have one specifically for roof tiles, and then there's also things like cloth and fibre, that's your wool and carpets, lighting blocks, decor and storage and furniture. So it's just far. Oh, good stuff, bricks. It's just a far better system than Mojang have in vanilla. It makes far more sense. So you've got food blocks, tool blocks, lighting. It's just so much better organized. And then just to give you a quick example again, and that's actually not in a good example. We'll give you a better example than that. Here I think the Sienna has. So we have so many different types of blocks, and even the likes of the sphere here actually has multiple block states. So that's one sphere. We can have it to the egg size, that's your dragon egg, and then we can have it to small. So if you're doing statues or something, you can do all sorts of different types of statues. Hello Savage, how are you doing? Good to have you aboard. Thanks very much for joining us. I'm going to add just a bit more food to the table here, just add a little bit more life to it. Maybe a tankard or something along those lines. So back to our food blocks, and it's a wealthy house, so we'll add a goblet, and that ought to do it. I don't want to get it too cluttered either. And I was tempted to add something to this corner here. In fact, I still may. I'll add something. I'll add a little table or something along those lines. Furniture. The blue, it looks a little bit out of place. I think I'll just use our usual red, and we've done a gold chandelier already. Oh, we haven't. Oh, we have a gold chandelier here. So we can just, I think I'll do a single stick chandelier just to give additional lighting. So there, that's our 3. What we'll do is we'll just change it to, I think you can, I could have sworn on this you were able to, obviously not on this one, that doesn't matter. I could have sworn you were able to, maybe it's on the gold chandelier, you can change the amount of candles that are on the candelabra itself. Sorry, apologies, I'm still trying to operate both my phone and my as a method of, select like one, oh, no, that's clearly not it, and we definitely don't want that. So I think I'm right. I think there is a way of, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, so that's a bit more light, and we have a thing here. We could have maybe a painting here. What do you think? We'll add a painting, just a small one. 1x1 Steve. That sounds good. If we haven't already used it out here, we haven't, so that's okay. So I think that's okay. Now we have the option over here of adding maybe a chair or a table for food or something along those lines. We also have a bit of additional space, as you can see, so we can utilize that if needs be, and we probably will. For example, I think here we could use a little wine press or wine stand. So what we'll do is we'll get a nice wine stand and we'll put that there, and then we'll add a drawer underneath it of the same color. So, and we'll bring that out a bit as well, just to give it a bit more depth. Yep, not that one. there. And finally, just to complete it off, we can either add glass or we can add, we could add a shutter, for example, but we won't in this case because it will be, I think a shutter would, it looks too poor for how wealthy the room is. So what we'll do is we'll add glass as opposed to that. And here we go. So some sort of fancy glass that would look well. Pyro, I'm actually quite curious to think of get your. No, that's two. I'm curious, Pyro, to get your thoughts on the matter here because you wouldn't be a typical user of Conquest Reforged, so that looks well. So I would love to get your thoughts on exactly what you think of how this compares, I suppose, and the building styles and our techniques as compared to a bog standard vanilla player or a vanilla experience, I suppose. So we're just going to get rid of all that. We have light, we have food, and a bit of space there. We could add a little chair there or something, but again, I don't want to get it too cluttered. For example, if we had a chair there, I feel that's a bit too much. We could add a stool or a small chair, but again, that just feels awkward, I think, personally. It would need to be something else. We'll work on it. Okay, so this corner, I think here there's only really one thing that we can do, and that's we'll go with a lighter variety of thing. No, even that doesn't look well. What we'll do is we'll do a sort of serve. Hello, welcome aboard. So yeah, no, put a table there. It doesn't work. I don't feel it works. I think it would be more a cupboard there. So the only logical thing for me to do would be to carry on the theme on one side across to the other. So we can add that there and add that there. That will give at least the impression that there's presses there. And then on top of it we could add, there's several things we can add. We can add food blocks, I suppose. That would be the most logical, I suppose. So we could add maybe jam jars. Or we could add proper decoration. So we could add something like an astrolabe or something like that. But again, we've got that already in the sitting room, so I don't want to overuse the blocks I have. So let me see, what should we use? Yeah, I think food is the way to go here, and I think the best way to do that would be to actually, do you know something? The best thing we can do now is add a table behind us. Because you can't see the table, we can actually safely add the table and it will look better on the top. So for here you have a kind of a plank and it doesn't look the best, whereas I suspect there, yeah, it looks a little bit cleaner. It's a different color, which is unfortunate, but it does look a bit cleaner. So I think that's what we'll do. I don't think vanilla is really comparable with Conquest because Conquest has at least 3 times the building blocks. It's actually, would you believe, Pyro? Scorms, my god. Thank you very much, Scorms. Welcome aboard, Scorms. Pyro, would you believe that this particular version of Conquest Reforged has 12,000 blocks? So it's, I don't know, I think it's maybe, it's a several thousand times the amount of blocks that the vanilla experience has anyway. So yeah, it's insane. And Scorms, welcome aboard, and thank you very, very much for joining me. Great to have you here. Let me see. I don't want to waste too long on this either, and I'm kind of falling into that trap that I usually do when I'm playing on my own, and I can spend hours agonizing over exactly what to put where, and I think that's a mistake here. So I'm going to try and go quickly through it now. Right, so first off, forget about that because I'm going to have to think about that for a second. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a flower pot just to give the place some. How is that one of the tall ones? I think that comes. Yeah, no, that works. No, it doesn't. It's too small. I'm going to add some flowers just to give the place a little life. Some buttercups maybe? No, that doesn't work. I think we're going to go a bit more extreme, and we shall go with something like the purple cherry blossoms. I like it. It does come out a lot, but I do like that. And also it takes up the top of the vase quite well, which I like. Yeah, no, I'll keep that. And we shall have to decide. Okay, so I think here we can actually safely have a small stool. We have the space for it, and it works quite well. So we'll go with something green just to carry on the green in the room. You could either do that there and have another table here. You could have that there. And that's okay. And then I think a bottle on top of that just to get the impression that people are able to drink from it there. That works. And finally the problem corner. What to put here? Scorm's cupboards I think do look better here. But what to put on top of them? I don't want to go up and put... I had considered putting something like shelves here, but it's a dining room and that would look terrible. So I think here, and food doesn't really work either. It's a dining room. You could have glasses. I suppose some Victory Mod might have some something for us to use. Shops and stores. We could have another bottle, but we've used bottles already, so I don't think that's ideal. Apothecary rack? No, I don't think so. I don't think that works either. Do you know what? I'm going to just put in some adornments. So tool blocks. Do we have anything that looks good? Not particularly decor. I think a small vase and I've an idea here. No, so the vase will go on the other side. And that can go there, and that looks not fantastic, but it's not the worst either. So it's a fairly basic dining room. It's not amazing by any standards, but it's all right, I suppose. Sure, and good morning, Scout. Sorry, I'm just seeing these. I'm not sure if there's a delay in terms of the chat coming into the phone. Again, I really do need to figure out a proper system. I believe a tablet or something. We have an old iPod, an ancient old iPad lying around that's about 12 or 13 years old, and I think I might just get that sat beside my laptop here, so I'm able to see messages a little more clearly when they come in. But and Jurpak, welcome aboard. It is an absolute pleasure to have you. And Pear is with us as well. My God, unbelievable. We're doing very well here. And Anrir. I don't actually know how many people are. I'm going to just, if you bear with me for 1 second, please. I want to see if I can find how many people are online, and of course I can't because unbelievable. I really need to get to grips with my thing. So according to the thing, I have 8 viewers. So that's definitely a record for me, but again I can't actually tell. Oh, thank you very much, Serve. 10 viewers, that's unreal. I actually genuinely flabbergasted by that number, so thank you very much, all of you. Now this spot here, I would like to put something in it, but I'm kind of stymied as to what I could put in. I don't want to add too much to, we could add a cupboard, I suppose. Hold on, we'll just see if this works. I'm not sure it will, but it may. These ones, the cabinets. So if I had that there, that has to be facing that way, and that has to be facing that way. Do they work, do you think, or is it makes it too cluttered? Also that they're different. No, I think that we're going to get rid of those, and we'll add a chair there perhaps, and that will do it. If even a chair might not even be too much, but we'll see. No, a chair there will be fine, hopefully. Okay, so Shine, that is that with regards to the dining room. Look, it's not perfect, but it will do. And now on to the thing that I've been dreading, and that is the kitchen, because I have to design some form of oven for here, and then take up all this space, and it's rather large. Also, by the way, just yesterday I couldn't figure out what to do with. Don't like it next to the door, to be honest with you. I think, yeah, possibly need to get rid of it, do I? The chair, I assume you mean, Jer. So this small area here, I hadn't decided what to do. It's in a cellar. It's a kind of a lower level, and it will come out onto a yard. So I had a thought yesterday this would be a kind of a servant's quarters. So and a sort of a tradesman's entrance for bringing goods into the house from the road here, so they don't come through the main town square. I'll do a quick, because I do have quite a few newcomers on board, so I'll just do a very, very quick flyby, and apologies for those of you who have seen this multiple times at this stage. Scout will be incredibly familiar with it, as Scout is one of the builders. So this is a town that I began just to play around with 1.16 blocks. It wasn't an actual project to begin with, it just kind of snowballed into one. It's being built by myself and Scout, and eventually the plan will be to migrate it onto Darwin when Darwin comes on to 1.16, when we have the server software capable of doing that. So the idea is it's a kind of a town. There's no real hard and fast time frame, but I'm thinking kind of early 1600s. It's going to be for a fantasy world, so there will be a lot of different elements in the world itself. This is just our first town in it. Tom, my God, hello, welcome aboard. Absolutely amazing to have you. We have several people who are also streamers here, Tom being one of them. Tom does an amazing kind of a Creole southern kind of states 1800s world called the Richford Bayou, and well worth a visit. Scorms himself is doing a world kind of like in the same vein as this one, and he also streams on YouTube, so there's a lot of people here. The stream freezes every once in a while. I apologize, I don't know how that, it's very possible, Jer, and if it does, I apologize. It could be my side, it may not, I don't know. But anyway, this is the main town square, and the work that Scout is doing is over here on the riverside area, and she's basically built everything here, and is working away on that, and is doing a magnificent job, it must be said. It's just there's a vast amount to it. Early 1600s, and just I was born in the 1400s. So yeah, so Scout has done a magnificent job here. It's obviously a more run-down area than the town square. The town square will be the richest, the most wealthy area in the town, and will merge slowly with some more middle-class buildings, and then down to the kind of more rundown area, and then there will probably be even more rundown area and a kind of a slum area, maybe on the other side of the river or something. We haven't quite identified the boundaries of the town as such yet. Tom, no problem whatsoever. And Jer, again, I really do apologise. If the stream is freezing for anyone else, then it's clearly on my side. But again, I honestly, I'm not too sure what to do about that, and I apologise. Okay, so this is, I'll start the easy bit first, water closet. So let's just get there. And I have fallen into the use of using victory mod for the water closet, because I used to, as did we all, I suppose, within Conquest 1.15, we used to use there was a pot that you could use, or that sort of thing, and you'd be able to put it inside there and typically use that. But victory mod actually has a nice privy sort of thing, and it works quite well, so I tend to use that nowadays. And it's nice and it works well, and it also has a nice wash basin as well, so it, you know, it does everything you need. We'll leave that there on the far side of it, and we'll also use a where's my decor? There, just a towel rack, because, you know, people do need to dry their hands and wash their hands after. Let's all be hygienic people, shall we? They may not have been as hygienic in the period that we're in, but in this world they are. Oh, and let's not forget, we need to have our roof supports and also light. So we'll do that there, and add it there. And I think the best way to do, we can either have a side light, which might get in the way a bit. I think a hanging light is the way to go, and it might be a bit high, so we'll try it with a chain to begin with, and following that we'll try a just hanging from the roof. But I think a chain is the way to go here. Yeah, that for me that works. And Sinead, now we could add a few flies for the sake of pyro, just to show them. How long was the grass, Savage? It took me about 3 hours to cut my grass yesterday, so it was actually fairly short. It was lucky because I only cut it last week, so I suppose the trick for me is to remember to actually cut my grass, and it will only take me about 3 hours to cut as opposed to 8 hours when it's longer. It takes me so much longer when it is long because I have to empty my grass box from the mower and walk to the other side of the property and the vegetable garden and dump it in the compost bin, and that just takes a long time. So I was lucky yesterday. For once, diligence paid off. Now, so I think that'll do there. We've got some flies to indicate that there's some waste in the privy, and that's that. So we've done the easy bit. Now for the more difficult one. So let's just start with our roof supports. Again, for the sake of pyro, I'm just going to show there are multiple roof supports you can use. I could, if I so wanted, do something like that and then have it like that, so you have a base, but in this particular style I'm just doing straight across. And there. So here we are, and establishing the preliminaries. This is typically work I would have kind of done to begin with. I left it a soft delivery for a stream, so what I would do with in my own particular style is I go, and as I explained to people earlier on, I build a house and then I do the interior walls so they're all done, and then I would actually do the next stage, which would be to go and do all the likes of the beams and the light fixtures and the fireplaces, and then finally I would go back and do the finer detail in the decoration. But as I said, in this specific case I left it off just to so that people could see it on the stream. Now whether that's any use to anybody, I don't know. So we have 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. So we have a central line here, which is ideal, and we have a. I think those two are good spots to do lighting in. So in this case, I am going to put just the capital blocks, and I'm going to use a bigger light source. I'll use the chandelier if I can find it. Here we have it. Now the only thing about this is I think that I always feel that the chandelier is quite low, but I think it's quite high, and it just looks very odd if it's just attached to the ceiling in that way. How long does it take you to build a fully furnished house? Yes, Tom. My house is on it's on a good bit of land, so 2/3 of the house, and it's surrounded by gardens, and it takes a long time. So to answer your question, Tom, how long it takes me to build a fully furnished house? Far too long is the answer, because I keep on doing stupid things like that. And Scout has joined, so welcome, Scout. Yeah, no, I typically I hum and haw over interior decoration for far too long, and then typically it would take, I'd say, maybe a day, 2 days to build a fully furnished house. Hey Scout, how are you? Now next things next is to get the oops, that's not what I meant to do. I'm going to have to build an oven now. So we shall try and do something. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do this. But we'll figure something out as we go. I think I don't want to build it in sandstone because I've used that outside already, and I'm not too keen to build it in the dark brick. I think a lighter coloured brick would probably be the best. If I had a normal limestone brick, it would probably be okay. So we could do the base of it there. And let me see. This apologies. This may take me a while to try and figure out. So if we do that there, and what we're going to have is an area for a bellows and an area to put in. So let's go to our tool blocks. I can never find a bloody thing, so I'm just gonna. Also helpful if I can spell, which takes sometimes me quite a while. Now, so there's our bellows. Nice, that works. Imagine building interior. Bricks, I wouldn't do it any other way. And serve, what you should build. It's serve. Do you really need to ask what you should build? Come now, it's me. I'm going to only have one answer, and I think everyone on the stream already knows what that answer is. The only thing you should build is a steampunk battleship. That's what must be done. Okay, so an area to put in. So let's say that is our oven, and let's just get it up there like that for a moment, and we can put in that. That's nice. I like that. Okay, so that could work. And if I was to put, hold on, I'll just get rid of that for the moment, because as brilliant as the arch blocks are, I think everyone who plays 1.6 knows that the actual hitboxes on them are quite annoying and they can just get in the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the grill, if I can find it. There we go, the metal grate. There. And I'm going to then go into spectator mode and just whiz out. And I'm going to go into spectator mode again as I made a mistake. Okay, so F3. So what we need to do now is put this underneath here, and that will do there. So what we should have is a nice little area for putting our food on. We need an area to put wood into as well. So we could put something like, well, it doesn't really even need to have to, it just needs to be a excuse me, it just needs to be a kind of a door, an iron door or something along those lines. So we could almost put this on it, and then we can have a little knob to indicate that it can be opened. So something like that, and hopefully that indicates that that's where the wood goes in. Apologies folks, my phone keeps on. My phone has been keeps on turning itself off and is incredibly annoying, but we shall, as I said, do our best to keep going. If you have any suggestions as well, please do let me know. I'm more than happy to take them. I'm more than happy to listen to any suggestions, any and all suggestions, really. We could do that there, not there. That'll give some idea as to. So when you're looking in, that should hopefully look a little bit better. A little bit better, hopefully. We could have a flue there. So if we put that, no. If we put that there, and forgive me folks, if you think I'm rambling or anything those lines, just let me know and I'll try be a little bit more engaging with my audience. Again, apologies if that is the case. I don't know. I would love that, Scout. Thanks very much. Now, where are we? We want a bit of food in here, so maybe some bread. Actually, you know, I think the Victory Mod bread is actually looks quite well, and it's not quite the same as the normal bread. So, do we have? I think it's in building or the builders' professions or something. So we shall. Sir, don't do that to yourself, please. That would be desperate. Aha, bread. This is what I'm looking for. We could even do 2. And what we need to do now is have our arch. So you can see the bread being baked there. And do we want to put that there? No, we don't. I think that doesn't look good. Ah, bloody hell. Like I said, I hate to hit boxes on these. That looks too big to be an oven. I think that it would release too much air, so no, too much heat out. We'll figure something else out. Perhaps we can do something. Let me see. Again, this is going to require me to get rid of this for a second. We'll just do that there, and we're going to have a it needs to be like that, and that needs to be like that. and there, and then we could have that there, perhaps. This may not work out at all, folks, so I'm just playing around, as I always do. And no, that doesn't work because of just the way it fits in. So no, that's not going to work at all. My intention was to have a double door, but clearly that doesn't work. It looks a bit silly. I don't like that particular either. I think that doesn't look well because that doesn't... Maybe the way to go is do something different. No, definitely not that either. I'll give it a try here. That's not horrible, I don't think. We could also just put that there. And then have, if we're careful, it may work. Savage building. Sorry, apologies. As I said, I'm starting to get a little bit distracted here, and that is not a good thing. I understand. What we could do is just have two open doors. No, that looks stupid as well. What to do, what to do, what to do. I think if we had one closed door, and then one open one. We could also have a baker's paddle up against here, maybe. And no, I'm not really entirely happy with that. And this is where as I said, I struggle, is to find the ideal way to do this. What we could have is if we had something along those lines here, perhaps. This may not work either. No, I don't think that works. Excuse me, and apologies. So that's where the intention is here. This here is a door that you would put wood into, and then these are the ovens itself. And no, I'm going to remove that. Hold on. That's 2. That's not too bad. It's not ideal. Does the Gothic one have a better frame for a double, I wonder? I think that's alright-ish. It's different anyway, and to be perfectly frank, I've spent far too long away at this as it is, so I'm going to leave it there and leave it as is. Forgive me, I need to take a sip of what is now cold tea. We're going to remove these. So what we'll do here is we'll add some arch blocks, and as luck would have it, the house behind me has that as well. So we'll add arch blocks and we'll add wood just to indicate that there's wood that goes there. Bum bum bum, and there we have our wood. So like so, and no, that looks desperate. Okay, what we'll do is we'll just do the 1. And we'll have that there. That's a little bit better, I think. Hopefully. Okay, so now on to the rest of the kitchen now that I've spent so long wasting my time on the oven, which looking at I'm not entirely happy with at all. I think I'll revisit this, but I'm not going to bore everyone to tears as I struggle to find a decent looking one. At least now we can move on to something else. So what do we need in the kitchen? So we need some food preparation areas. This particular block here is from the fireplace in the house behind me, so we need to have something there just to hide that. So what we'll do first off is we're going to have a dresser there, I think. And dressers are usually relatively good things to have in kitchens, and they look well. So let's try a cupboards. We'll do a triple dresser perhaps. And we can do some shelves and spice racks behind that. And spice racks. Oh, that clearly didn't work. And finally, what we shall do is put a nice. I really thank you very much, Scorms. I really hope I am being in. Thanks very much, Scout, as well. I really hope that I'm not being boring, and I really am conscious of the fact that I am meandering a bit and that sort of thing. So I do apologise to everyone who might be wondering what the hell I'm doing and what the hell I'm talking about. So at the moment, what I'm trying to do is build a dresser. The dresser is going to have a decent side to it. So that's my next quest. It doesn't have to be the best dresser in the world either. It's like, again, I don't want to waste too much time and too much of everybody's time doing this when I can be more gainfully doing other things. Now, what we can do here is, as you can see, right, so I'm constrained by the fact that I can put a top on the dresser here, here, and also here, but I would have to remove this there, and typically I don't like doing that. It's possible but I usually try and avoid getting rid of beam blocks and that sort of thing. Sometimes it is necessary, but oftentimes it's not. So what we shall do is we can try with some of the newer blocks, maybe the quarter slab, and put it in there. No, that doesn't work either, of course, because it's a half block. Okay, so we are scuppered. We'll leave that there and hope that people are forgiving of us. 1, 2, there we go, out a bit further, and in fact we're going to change that for a serve. That's an amazing idea. Build an opera house, I like that a lot. Storage, and what we'll do is we'll use this guy here as a middle one. And finally, what we can do, as a matter of fact, is not all of it, because of course that was where I was constrained there. Of course, I'd forgotten that. But we can put as again, Victory Mod has some fantastic blocks, and it does have, if I can find them, rows of plates and that sort of thing. It's just a matter of actually finding where they are. Okay, Scout, thank you very much. Here we go. So we can put the plates there, and that looks, well, doesn't look absolutely terrible. What we could do is we could put these in behind by a block. If we put that there, I'm not entirely sure how noticeable that is. I don't think it's entirely noticeable. So put that there. Maybe no, that doesn't look well. I think there's more than one set of plates. There could well have been. No, apparently not. What we can do is we can have something like the skillet there, and a basket of eggs. Yeah, things like that, you see. And these that help, I think, always just it just helps with just increasing the level of detail within. Of course, I can't do that. Right. So last things last. What we need to do is add a door to it. Add doors, as the case may be. So what we shall and looks like we have, apologies if the stream is pausing, Elmo, I really do appreciate, I'm very, very sorry. I have had one person, Jur, say that. I see that we look like we're being spammed as well by some sort of DX Zoom. I don't know, apologies about that as well. Again, I'm entirely new to streaming, so this is a learning curve for me. So what we'll do is, I think the lattice, we'll try and put a lattice frame on this and see how it looks to begin with. That's alright, I think. And we can have it just so that it's open in the middle. Or perhaps not. It does look like it's taking up a bit of space there. So we'll just go with that. And that'll do. That'll do me. Okay, so next thing's next. Maybe have a little bit of a stool by the fire. I'm conscious of the time as well, folks. It's a Sunday, and I do have other. The chat is freezing. Apologies about that as well. So yeah, no, sorry, Elmo. This is a private server between myself and Scout. The intention is when Darwin, we're both players on the Darwin Reforged server as well. So when the Darwin Reforged server is able to update to 1.16, which is what this version of Conquest is that we will just migrate this over to Darwin and then play on it there, and it will be a little bit more publicly available at that point. So we have our bread is in the oven. Perhaps we can have some hanging food here. We'll just see. We'll see. This may work. It may not. Onions and that sort of thing. We'll leave them there for the moment. I'm not entirely sure they're working, but we'll see. We'll see, and we'll see if that continues. And meanwhile, let's get busy with a table for baking. Again, I don't want to do anything too fancy here, so the table is going to be a basic one. Typically, I find this to be the kind of more rustic type of table, and if I was using something in a dining room, usually, but as we saw in the last room, I would usually use something like that, but not always. So decent sized table for doing baking on. We'll add some flour, some half barrel of flour. I don't know, this is something that I can't remember if I have had one or two original ideas in my lifetime, and I'm not entirely sure if this was one of them or if this came from somebody else. I can't remember because though I have had one or two original ideas, my memory is also terrible, so I can't remember what my ideas were. But certainly this is something we use on Darwin a lot, and that is to use the lichen blocks as a way of showing suds, and also it can be indicate spilled flour. And this one certainly was one of mine, is using the patty block. I would call this cow dung in Ireland, but obviously they're referred to as patty elsewhere. That is to indicate dough being made. And I think we are going to do a 6 because there's so much more we can add to a table in a kitchen. So we can add some milk, because that would be being used as they made bread. Certainly for Irish soda bread. Typically, I know bread is water, flour, and yeast. In Ireland, we do everything a little bit differently, and yes, we use milk. We use a thing called buttermilk to make bread. Delish. I completely agree, Scorms. Let's just add a few more things just to show that the food is being made. And I tell you what, over here we're going to have a corner shelf. Let's not forget towel either. Towel and a wash basin as well, also very important. So we'll have a corner block there. We'll add some, whiz around, add a few. No, that's not what I want. That's more like it, slightly. Is it though? Am I really happy with the floating jar? I am not. I can't do it. I'm too pedantic. That at least isn't fully floating. So what we'll do is we'll put those jars there, and that will do. Okay, that will better than nothing. We're going to add it now. That just a thing, and a broom beside it. Yeah. Okay. So what do we need to do next? Perhaps some more. Yes, of course. Like I said, we can't forget our towel rack and basin for water, for washing up and that sort of thing. And we have a visitor. Hello, Scout. How are you? How long have you been standing there for, Scout? You put milk in bags. Sir, that's bright. That's a new one to me. So what we need to do is get some water into here, and maybe get a table or two or a stool or two just to. No, that doesn't work at all. What we'll do is we're going to put the table there, and put that there. Does that work either? That really doesn't work either, in my opinion. Okay, so we're going to change everything about a bit. That will go there. The water will go in it. As you've all no doubt realised, I'm quite pernickety when it comes to the placement of things, and when I place some things, it just really doesn't sit with me. Yeah, absolutely, Scorms. I completely agree. Scout tends to sneak up on me. Yeah, no. So I'm quite pedantic in the way I place certain blocks, and it's just I suppose who I am and the way I build things. Let's just get a small stool for over here. I think that would be not a bad idea, and maybe even on the other side. Yeah, that works for me anyway. So it does. And a tankard to let people know that they're hard at work. They deserve a drink, except not on the ground. There. So what else do we need? We need to improve upon that though. Logically, the herbs and the hanging vegetables would typically be in front of the fireplace to keep them dry. So I think I shall actually leave those there. They're not doing too much harm, I suppose. And we'll work on something else while we're here. So we have an oven, we have things, we have, what do I usually put in a... Okay, so that's our doorway out. And I did say I was going to add a cellar here, so I think just a further... I've quite a deep area there that I can utilise. So what to put in it is the question. I could have a small ice area, maybe? Okay, let's just keep on adding a little bit of clutter to the area. Yeah, I think this is almost too much in terms of what we have available to us. So that looks better. And just another set of shelves, I think, is the best thing to have here. What we'll do is there's a kitchen cupboard block, and we want to utilize as well some of the other storage available, so the cabinets, that sort of thing. I tend to forget about those, and then we can have some crates of food on top of that, like so, and that's not too bad. We also want, as I said, a shelf somewhere with scales on it, but we'll work on that now in a minute. And my phone's gone off again. Again, apologies people, I really do need a better setup. I can't. My phone keeps on going into standby, and then I'm focused on doing the work here, and there's no two ways about it. I just need to improve on it, particularly if I intend to continue streaming. Depending on how successful I am, I may or may not. As I said, it depends entirely on whether people are interested in it or not. Oh yes, I forgot about that. That is also a nice block. I'll just land that somewhere there so I won't forget about it. And the spice rack I haven't used because the spice rack was there. So that will go there, and finally we'll put shutters over it. If possible, would anyone do me a massive favor and just let me know how many people are currently watching, because I actually don't know. I don't know how long I've been streaming for, and I think that it's a little bit, the actual app is a bit slow in terms of updating. I think that looks alright. Am I right in saying that, or does that look stupid? We could have a column block to try and cap that off if needs be. Let's say an architrave block or something. Let's put that there, but that looks worse. I think personally. So yeah, I think if I look around the kitchen here, it's starting to look a little more kitchen-like. It's starting to look a little more like it's lived in and that sort of thing. We can add a few more small things hopefully, and things. So we have light, we have that's things. As I said, I did want to add a few things that I'd forgotten about, but we can do that now. So what we shall do is we'll add a shelf there, and we want a tool block. We want to have a scales, and perhaps an egg timer as well wouldn't do any harm somewhere. And that could be what we have in there. They replied to 10 people. My goodness me, that's incredible. I genuinely thank you very, very, very much. It's it's extraordinary. Thank you so much. What we can do is, right, so I want to add a few more victory mods blocks here. Now, I'm aware there are paintings within the Conquest Reforged Modpack that do this, and for example, we could add them. In fact, let's just do one here anyway. But I typically try and avoid using paintings wherever possible because of the fact that they are entities, and they're also a pain in the backside to try and get right. Okay, they just won't go there. Okay, so I was going to use that one across, but to do that, it obviously I'd have to break that block, and I'm not that bothered because, so as I said, we have the entity of this, and yes, it does work and it's lovely, but the victory mod blocks of the same are far superior, I feel. So for example, you could do that, and it's a 3D, it has more depth, it looks more realistic, so certainly I think that's the way to go with them. And I'm after deleting the one I needed. That was clever of me. As well as that, we have a couple of other things that we could do. So let's just add them somewhere. We can add that there, and have the, I think those there, they will work there, and underneath we're going to have that, or are we? We shall see. Again, my phone is dead, and now, sorry, apologies. I'm not entirely sure about that, so we'll work on that. Let me just get rid of all the clutter in my menu bar. Let's work on something else. Let's just see what we can do. Now, Pour Cup, again, something that Victory Mod does very well is add a few things that used to be a 1.12 and are now missing. The likes of the Pour Cup, that there was a sort of a Pour Cup that, no, that can't go there, that is too cluttered to go there, but it will go there. This is a butter churn, and when I figure out how to do this, there we go. And we want a button. We'll just go over here rather than try and look for it. It's probably quicker to, probably famous last words, quicker to go over here, put that button there, and what we're going to do is get a barrel and just use a barrel as a keg. Again, it's probably a little bit of a tired, overused, it's probably an overused, tropish sort of decoration, but I do love it. I think it's fantastic, so, you know, c'est la vie. Yeah, so there we have barrel, keg. We still have somewhere to put these. They need to be in a relatively convenient spot. So I suppose there would be good. And you know, I'm going to, for the sake of it, add the painting. Let's stay loyal to our Conquest roots. When I'm finished this, by the way, folks, I am going to have to call it a day with regards to the stream. It's lasted far longer than I anticipated, and it has been far more successful with regards to the amount of people that have joined me. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much. I hope I didn't bore too many people to tears. I think that, yeah, no, it's starting to come together with regards the interior. It's It's better now. There is some things I'm missing. Like I could do a hanging rabbit or something as well, but I don't want to overdo the hanging things. You know, the amount that we have that does hang down. Storage. Let's see what else we could add. A bucket. An empty bucket, also very, very important. We'll land that perhaps here. Again, just small little things. I find this to be an incredibly versatile decoration, particularly in terms of kitchens, because Scout, good luck. Thank you very, very much for joining me, and thanks as always for everything. There are no words. Thank you very, very much. I'll see you soon. I'll see you probably later on this afternoon. We have I have a church service to go to. A friend of mine sadly passed away during COVID, and he was in his 60s, but he passed away during COVID, and owing to the countrywide restrictions at the time, his family had a funeral but weren't able to have anybody at it. So there is a memorial service for him today, and I am my wife is working, so she won't be able to attend, but my kids and myself are going to attend and just go to that. So that will be on following this. So it will. Just a basket of potatoes. Now, there's something missing, I feel, from the kitchen, and I think it's that it's missing. It's almost a little too clinical. Now I'm hoping that I can change that, but I'm not entirely sure I'll be able. Grass and shrubs. What I'm looking for is there was a moss that was available in 1.12, but I'm not sure it's still on the 1.16 blocks. It doesn't look like it was called sprungthorn moss or something. It was basically it was a very subtle little bump, and it would look like a spillage essentially. But unfortunately it isn't available at the moment, so we'll leave as is. So we shall. But let me see what else. We need this to be free here. That can't be any more cluttered than it already is, because we need a way to the toilet in case of emergencies. But this area here certainly can have one or two more small features. But what to do is the question. Let me see, what else could we do? If we have any suggestions, I'm more than no. Thank you very much, Bricks. He was a decent dude, and it is what it is. I'm just happy to be able to go to a memorial service for him. It was it was a tough time for everybody, I think, and and that's not just ourselves, it's worldwide. Everybody has had to endure a lot. No, that's what we shall use. Yeah, I think if I was to put some form of drawers there, it wouldn't look great. So I think this is going to be my area for just having things like pots and that sort of thing. So that could be oil or something along those lines. I really like that particular vase. It's very good in terms of exteriors. You can put flowers in it, but for the interior it has a nice little cap on it that looks very, very well, I feel. Yeah, no, I think that looks all right. But what I am going to do is I'm going to remove if I can get it past there, I'm going to remove the broom from there, and it makes more sense to have it beside the bucket, because it gives the impression of someone sweeping something up and then getting rid of it. So the only thing that I can think of now, I think that's almost done. Does that look well, or does that look too cluttered? I was literally going to just put in a timer, an hourglass, just as a kitchen tool. But I'm not sure that doesn't look too cluttered. You see, if I put in a singular shelf there, that just looks stupid. You would really need to have a set of shelves above it. And you know, feck it, I'm going to leave it there. It does look a little bit cluttered, particularly with the butter churn. But if I move the butter churn, it looks a little bit more clean. And I did say I want to leave this place uncluttered, but the butter churn is quite subtle. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do finally a food. Where are you? Food, glorious food. Bum bum bum. If I ever do start singing to myself during a stream, please don't be too frightened, scared, or anything like that. As I explained yesterday, I have a terrible habit of talking to myself. But not only talking to myself, but humming to myself and singing to myself and all sorts of things like that. So it would not be the first time. No, that doesn't look well there. It needs a rope. If I'm going to put this here at all, which I'm not sure I am. No, that doesn't look well there. It's better with a shelf. And on the shelf we can put anything really, but sometimes I suppose less is more. I think it's almost all right in terms of the kitchen. I don't know. What do you think, folks? Do we need any more? Do we have any suggestions before I finish off? It's not my best kitchen ever. Partially because it would usually take me a lot longer, but I'm conscious of the fact that I am streaming. I want to get something. I want to achieve something while people are watching. But it's not too bad, I suppose. As I said, typically I would take far longer to just place everything that I'm 110% happy with it. But it's all right, I suppose. But I will take suggestions now before I leave, if anyone has any. Oh, I've got an idea, and it's not ideal again, but it will give the idea of maybe just a spillage being mopped up, or a spillage being soaked up with a bit of hay. Maybe make it a bit more off-center, something like that. Yeah, there. So yeah, I think it's all right. And again, remember, we do have space in the room directly below this for more food storage, and that is my intention. I am going to use this as a secondary kitchen, I suppose, and maybe just have something there. But that's for the next stream. I'm fairly surprised I managed to get this much done today. But yeah, no, as I said, if there's any, thank you very much, Bricks, it's cute. It will do. As I said, I feel I have done superior kitchens in the past, but they would have taken me maybe 3 or 4 times the length just to do. But yeah, no, so here we have it. We've the dining room, sitting room, and kitchen now complete, which is something of an achievement. Only 1, 2, 3, 4 more. No, I think 1, 2, 3, and then yeah, 4 more floors, including the cellar to complete. So we have a long way to go yet, but when I do finish it, just so you're aware, I spent a little time off camera yesterday just doing this bit of road here because I have no intention of streaming me building a road. It would be literally the most boring thing you could watch. So no, the road will come down along here, loop along, and then go towards the front. Now, the plan, just to explain before I leave, is I will finish the square, and then the square is only it will be properly layered. This tremendous flat area will be gone. We're going to do a big market day or a big festival day, so there'll be nice flags and stalls and all sorts of things within it, and then we'll move on from that point forward. Now, Dr. Shabs. Now, if anyone can remember who Dr. Shabs was, answers on a postcard, and I will see if anyone can remember. It would take someone of a certain age to remember what that is in reference to. But look, as I said, I really do appreciate you all coming to join me. I'm honoured and privileged beyond words, so thank you very, very much. I do hope that you all enjoyed watching me meander and struggle and internally curse my way through doing this. But again, as I said, I really do appreciate. Oh, I forgot our little water closet. I really do appreciate it, and thank you very much for joining me. I will do it again if people have an interest. I really don't mind. I'm here anyway building, so I may as well be streaming, I suppose. But until next time, thank you very, very much to all of you. And as always, stay frosty and goodbye.